So the next theme is Mersea, and the title is Guidance on Self-Assessment Tool for Effective Cyber Risk Management. Give them a big hand.
Good afternoon. It is an honor to be here today. We would like to address the issue of cybersecurity and propose solutions for an effective cyber risk management. Our presentation consists of 3 parts. We will first define what cybersecurity is and tell you why it's important. Second, we will analyze the current problems. And third, we will propose solutions to these problems. So first, what is cybersecurity? Cybersecurity are actions that are taken to be prevented from cyber risk. The IMO definition of cyber risk is that cyber risk can lead to the corruption of systems and compromise information, and ultimately lead to the loss of technology assets. So implementing an effective cyber risk management, or in other words, cybersecurity, will prevent these risks from developing into detrimental losses. Our proposals to an effective cyber risk management adheres to the strategic directions of IMO 5 and 6. Our proposals will enhance global facilitation and security of international trade, and it will also ensure regulatory effectiveness. IMO has taken many actions to enhance maritime cybersecurity. First, it has made MSC FAL1 Circular 1 Guidance on Maritime Cyber Risk Management. Secondly, it has made document MSC 428, which encourages companies to implement cyber risk management in accordance with the safety management system of the ISM code. Thirdly, in the 101st session of the Maritime Safety Committee, it has been discussed that cyber risk management should be discussed within the ISM code and not the ISPS code because of the additional administrative burdens that can occur from being dealt within the ISPS code. Even with these documents, it seems that IMO still has a lot more to do for maritime cybersecurity. And the reason for that is, maritime society is looking at high technological advances. New technologies like the e-navigation system, the smart ships, and MAS are interconnecting the global shipping industry together. And of course, the increase in connectivity means that there's an increase in efficiency. However, it also means that there's an increase in the possibility of loss, and that is by definition cyber risk. In 2017, the world has witnessed a devastating incident called the Maersk incident. The Maersk is the biggest shipping industry in the whole world and consists of 15% of the global trade. A ransomware called NotPetya attacked Maersk, and it incurred detrimental losses, like ships were stuck in the sea, 76 ports were closed, 5 million endpoints of 130 countries were affected by this malware, and thus it incurred $300 million of financial loss. Unfortunately, even after the Maersk incident, cyber attacks continued to reveal the insufficiency of cybersecurity. The survey of BIMCO highlights that a significant number of staff and companies still do not have a cyber risk management system or are very much ineffective. To look into the insufficiency of cybersecurity in more depth, now we will look at the problems of the IMO documents related to cybersecurity.
shipping companies are encouraged to address cyber risk management no later than January 1st, 2021. However, those shipping companies are not ready yet. Then why? There are two reasons. First, IMO documents are vague when it comes to implementation of cyber risk management. It is hard to know exactly what shipping companies should do for their own cyber risk management. And second, the guidelines on cyber risk management is non-mandatory. It is very important to create mandatory requirements to prevent any entities from falling back behind too much, because one entity's lack of cybersecurity can put everyone else in danger. Let me explain these two problems in detail. First, the guidelines only offer 5 functional requirements. Those are identify, detect, protect, respond, and recover. Companies cannot grasp actual steps to creating and executing cyber risk management with those vague 5 functional requirements. In 2017, many delegates like France, Canada, US also expressed the need to make detailed and practical guidelines. However, IMO expressed doubt, stating that they still lack experiences. In other words, it means once best practices and experiences are accumulated enough, then we can make detailed and practical guidelines. And now, in 2019, the best practices and experiences have sufficiently accumulated enough. For example, here we can see the industrial guideline developed by BIMCO and NIST. Now we know it's the time. Second problem is that guidelines is only recommendatory and non-mandatory. In MSC 428, also encourages administration instead of enforcing cyber risk management. Again, it is very important to create mandatory requirements to prevent any entity from falling back behind too much. In MSC 97 and 98, Iran and other delegates also expressed the need to make cyber risk management mandatory. IMO also expressed same thought for the same reason. They still lack of experiences. And now, in 2019, we know the experiences are accumulated enough over these 3 years. So briefly, there are 2 problems: vagueness and the fact that guideline is non-mandatory. To solve the vagueness, we propose to include cyber risk assessment in the guideline. And to solve the lack of legal importance, we propose to amend ISM code and Circular 1371. ISM code is mandatory code, and Circular 1371 is referred in the mandatory ISM code, which gives it legal importance as well. So, in proposals, we will propose 3 actions to solve these 2 problems. Here is the 3 actions. First, we propose to revise the guidelines to include cyber risk assessment procedure. Second, we proposed to include the guidelines in Circular 1371. Circular 1371 has higher legal position than the guideline, so becoming part of Circular 1371 means give the higher legal position to the guideline. And thirdly, we propose to amend safety management objectives in paragraph 1.2.2.1 of ISM code. Amending objectives of ISM code can shift the entire focus of ISM code to emphasizing cyber risk. For the detail, the next presenter will explain our specific proposals. Thank you.
From now on, we will explain our proposal in more detail. Our first proposal is to revise the guideline Circular 3 in two ways. First, we will revise the paragraph 3.4 in the guideline. Second, we will add the procedure of cyber risk self-assessment as an appendix in the guideline. First, about revising the paragraph 3.4 in the guideline. We analyzed several industry guidelines and found 4 common elements of cyber risk self-assessment. The first element is the 3 basic steps that self-assessment should take: preparation, conduct, and result communication with feedback. The second element is the entity should understand and select their current tier of cyber risk management, and then set a target tier accordingly as their goal. The third element is recording the assessment results as a catalog, and the fourth element is sharing them internally. We propose that these 4 essential elements should be added in the paragraph 3.4 in the guideline. We also add that to implementation of cyber risk self-assessment, appendix is recommended, not Annex 3, there is a typo here. In the appendix, we provide more detailed procedure of cyber risk self-assessment. This is our entire procedure of cyber risk self-assessment. We will go over each of the steps in more detail. First step is preparation. At the preparation step, information like newly identified threat or cyber-relevant asset should be gathered. The information facilitates the entity can understand and select their current tier of cyber risk management. Then, the entities can set their target tier, which is their goal for more effective cyber risk management. The next step is where we assess cyber risk. Entity assess cyber risk referring to the industrial guidelines of their choice. And we suggest tools like surveys, vulnerability scanning with cyber risk metrics in order to consider the impact and likelihood of cyber risk. The last step is result communication and feedback. It is important that the result of this process are documented and shared with the seafarers. The catalog of cyber risk is utilized as a resources in the next assessment. Cyber risk self-assessment is a continuous process that effectively assess and mitigate cyber risk. Now that we have revised guideline Circular 3, we will elevate the legal status in the next 2 solutions. Our second solution is to elevate the legal status by including these revised guidelines into the Circular 1371. This document is significant because entities should refer to this document when implementing the ISM code. We will add the revised guideline into the Circular 1371 to elevate the legal status. Finally, we propose to amend the objectives of ISM code, adding this phrase, preventive measures against cyber incident or threat. Adding this phrase elevate the legal status of cyber risk management with holistic approach. Cyber risk is an urgent and universal problem. Our solution will help delegates protect themselves from cyber risk. However, our proposal looks into the future as well. The maritime industry holds high technological development like ICT, or math. The International Maritime Society cannot postpone the implementing cyber risk management and introduce the cyber risk self-assessment as an effective measure. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Team Mersea. If you have any questions, please ask. Yes.
Thank you very much. First of all, I would like to give big congratulations on your great success in terms of presenting your ideas. I love your ways of presenting the ideas in a very confident manner. And also, because I believe that this is not the place for competing your English, this is place for competing your presentation skills or, demonstrating your ideas. So first of all, the organizing your ideas was really good, so I love it. And also, this is for all participants. So the second thing I would like to mention to all of the participants here, because you will be the future maritime leaders of the Republic of Korea. So please do not read manuscript, because once you read your manuscript, it's a communication between manuscript and you are losing your audience. And also, please do not speak that fast. I'm a little bit nervous, so I'm speaking a bit fast. But if you speak fast, you are not speaking. You didn't speak fast. But if you speak fast, everybody cannot follow your ideas. Delivering your idea is the most important. In that perspective, your weight of speech and speech rate was really good. And also, what I want to emphasize is that you have to stress your ideas. So if there are important words or there are some kind of importance in your message, you have to speak higher, longer, and louder. So there should be a rhythm so that we can easily catch your message. In that perspective, thank you very much for doing that really great. And also, what I want to mention to all of you is that if you want to work as a one team, as a representative of Korea, you should show your teamwork. But my question is that how can we evaluate your teamwork through your presentation? When you take over your presentation to the next presenter, you can say, thank you, amazing job, great job. There's a lot of ways to express your teamwork. So please do not forget how you can demonstrate your teamwork to your audience. Good teamwork means great work. Thank you.
Thank you very much. It's really good advice for our representative of Korea in the future. So you can write down, yeah? So if you have any questions, yes, please.
Thank you for your interesting presentation. This issue is very great concern about the maritime autonomous ship and the cybersecurity in terms of logistics economy. And so I have two questions. One is, what is the difference between the maritime cybersecurity and cybersecurity? Another one is the cybersecurity according to the PIMCO guideline or to the Classification Society guideline. And so three categorizations. One is to the administrative, the management. Another one is technical management. Another one is physical management. As your presentations to the cybersecurity assessment is very important. Could you example for administrative and physical and technical? As I know to your understanding about the risk assessment of your presentation. Thank you.
Could you give us a moment to prepare, please?
I will explain about the first question of the main difference between maritime cybersecurity and general cybersecurity is the circumstance. The maritime environment is it's really hard to connect with is the environment of connect with internet or other networks is quite different. And usually like ship cybersecurity in ship is usually isolated when they are on the operation. So it means it's hard to update vaccines or update their fireworks immediately when newly identified threats occurred. So that's the main difference between cybersecurity and generic cybersecurity, in my thought. Thank you.
And for the second question, we put our guideline under ISM code, which means we mainly focus on system managing, but we think we also can use our assessment tools to the administrative assess and technical assess and physical assess, because in the first phase of gathering information, we gathering the information about not only new threats, also relevant issues and other things. And so in that phase, we can cover technical and physical threats. And administrative assess is actually about our whole tool, because our tool actually assess and help how the entities can actually do the cyber risk management. And I also want to emphasize that our tool is more for the holistic approach to cyber risk management. So I think approach with these three administrative, technical, and physical approach are also important, but we want to emphasize the holistic approach as one cyber risk. Thank you.
Adding on to that, we believe that self-assessment is the best way to implement all three measures of administrative, technical, and physical, because as we have shown in our whole procedure, it is a continuing process, and it has a feedback mechanism that takes into consideration all three aspects. So it's the results are used as a resource in the next assessment and makes it an effective feedback measure and makes it holistic. And that's why we have proposed self-assessment as our solution. Thank you.
Adding on my previous comment, I think briefly summarize my previous comment is about responsiveness. In maritime environment, responsiveness in cyber risk is really is late compared to the general cybersecurity. That's the main point. And also that's why the autonomy of shipping company or relevant stakeholders should be ensured in this case, because it depends on the situation where the companies add in. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much. It's a good strategy to add more so that they can avoid more questions for your maybe next participant. Well done. So thank you very much, and you can return to your ship because we don't have enough time to take more questions. So yeah, please, thank you.